Hi, I hope you're okay. Welcome to my channel. Tender is the Flesh by author Augusta Basterica. It's one of the books that it's hard to talk about. It's hard to describe, it's hard to sell. Every time I see anyone talk about this book, it's either I absolutely loved it or what in God's good holy name that I just stumble upon, that I just read. This book is centered around a dystopian world where cannibalism is not only legal, but the only thing you should and can do. So in this dystopian world, there was a virus and it basically it basically just stopped humans from eating all the animals, any kind of animal, even the birds, everything, because it would be fatal to humans. One thing led to another, and we come to this dystopian present time where a certain type of people are being bred strictly for food. They have no identity, they have no name, they have no sense of self, they can't speak, they have no vocal cords. It's a brutal state. I was hesitant for a while, but now that I actually read it, I have to talk to someone about it. So we're following the life of Marcus. It's a third-person point of view, following his life, and he works in a plant where they slaughter said breedable humans for consumption, and he is having an internal turmoil fight within himself, existential crises every 5 minutes, and we get to witness all of it, and an understandable existential crisis. I would have to if I had to slaughter humans every day, forever. In this world, the first idea, and the idea that sticks throughout the story and his POV, is that he doesn't really appreciate this state of present that he's living in. He doesn't agree to it personally. He wishes he could ostracize himself and live without feeling, act automatically, observe, breathe, and nothing more. See everything, understand, and not talk. But the memories are there. They remain with him. Starting with the MC having trouble not only doing his work, but living as a whole. And in this process of learning his fears and his day-to-day life and the inner monologue that he's going through, we also learn some stuff from this society, this dystopian society, about the humans that are bred only to be slaughtered. And in the process of learning that, and honestly only reading a few pages, it gave me this seedy, eerie feeling. And not because of how gruesome it is, but because of how real this is set up to be, or how real it could be if you really think about it. If you think about the things that are pushed and normalized, then you would understand that this is something that society can actually get to, a point that we can actually reach. And it translates that so good in a way that it's like you have to take a step back to put the book and look at the world around you and be like, this is not real though, right? It's fiction, right? Many people have normalized what the media insists on calling the transition, but he hasn't. Because he knows that transition is a word that doesn't convey how quick and ruthless the process was. One word to sum up and classify the unfathomable. An empty word. Change, transformation, shift. Synonyms that appear to mean the same thing, though the choice of using one over another speaks to a distinct view of the world. They have all normalized cannibalism. It dives into the human mind, how it works, and again, how realistic it can be. For example, at a certain point in the book, they have a barbecue celebrating one of the workers having a child. And they literally, word for word, say, "We're going to eat a kid." Meaning a calf. Meaning a child. Thinking about a kid, as you would say, a calf, a lamb. And you can see sort of, in the slightest way possible, done in the slightest detailed way, you can see the different status of people in the words that they choose to say, the words that the author chose to use. Instead of saying we're going to eat a child, instead of saying we're going to eat a head, they say a kid. and how a kid's meat is the most expensive and tasty, and how you, Marcus, receiving an invite, he should be honored that he has received an invite to eat such expensive meat. We crack the expensive stuff to celebrate him becoming a father, as if they were talking about a bottle of whiskey, as if they were talking about an everyday thing, and unfortunately they are. Of course, the book has a lot of shock value, which is something that I was really actually scared of, that it would just lean heavily on the shock value aspect or torture porn aspect of it and just forget about a plot, forget about a meaning. But I was so relieved when they didn't, and I didn't even think about it like a few chapters into the book. I just, that idea of, I hope this is not shock value, I hope, it just like escaped my mind because it was so well done. Of course, again, it still has a lot of shock values because of the nature of the story. I mean, you're talking about people eating people, breeding people for consumption, but it was done realistically to the dystopian situation we are sat at. I gotta say though, this has some of the most gruesome, vile, seedy, cruel, sick acts. So do read with caution if you do choose to read it. After our introduction, the main character, Marcus, gets a gift, which is a head, a female head in FGB, a first generation product, and she is one of the most expensive heads, expensive meats you can get. And as you can imagine, based off what we already know about the main character, he doesn't slaughter her, he doesn't eat her, he doesn't even sell her, but keeps her and grows some sort of compassion towards the product and keeps her in the barn. I'm not going to spoil because I think the ending is worth your first reaction without me spoiling the book. And holy shit, what a fucking ending. Holy shit, what a fucking ending. Even if I was iffy about the entire book, I got to the ending and I was shooketh. It had me so fucking gaslit. It had me manipulated. It had me shocked. I was shocked. But it's such an important ending. I wouldn't have it any other way. If you're familiar with George Orwell's book, his writing, his style of writing, even not just the plots, then this book is something George Orwell would be proud of. This book gives a huge George Orwell vibes. The setting, the characters, the way of writing, the dystopian world that we are reading about, just how eerie it is. Too realistic for my conscience. This has one of the best endings that I've read in a long time, and an ending that gives a lot of questions and a lot of answers to its own questions, and it's a morally enthralling ending, if that makes any sense. Everyone is morally gray, some leaning more towards the dark side and some more the lighter side, but everyone is morally corrupt. And we end the book with the idea that in a world so fucking corrupt, you cannot save humanity, even within yourself. You yourself, no matter how good you think you are, no matter how much you still think you grasp from your good side, you still are warped by the world around you, even for your own good, even in a selfish reason, even in a way. And if you've read the book, then you're gonna understand what I'm trying to say. Even in a way that you think you're doing it for the greater good, you are still warped by the society that you hate so much. Humanity is such a fascinating thing, and this ending, holy fucking shit. The entire book is subversive, cruel, vile. It's dehumanizing. There were some scenes that are, the entire book is dehumanizing, but there are some scenes that are extremely dehumanizing. And even in a society like this that normalized fucking cannibalism, breeding people only for consumption, treating people as human fucking beings, and it even has still status, it even has still problems that we face in this society. It even has things that you wouldn't think would still happen in a society that's so dystopic like this. You wouldn't think it would happen, but it still has them. And the bad people here are bad. And the worst thing about this is that the bad people here exist in this world, in this present world. It's seedy, gory, brutal, and even managed to make itself claustrophobic in a way. Like, I needed a break from it so many times that I would just set it aside because I needed to remind myself that this isn't it, this isn't real. And some of the characters that we met, the way they are described, they are so icky. They gave me the yucks. I really liked it. Please check your trigger warnings if you decide to read the book. There was one scene that I almost skipped. I powered through it, but it had animal cruelty in it, and that's one thing. That's like my limit with books. Choke me, spit on me, whatever the fuck. I don't give a fuck what main characters do with each other. I don't care. Animal cruelty though, it's a hard limit for me, so I powered through it, and it was a lot. It was very cruel. It was a cruel scene, and it's set in a lot of details. You follow this character trying to hold on to as much humanity as it's left in him, as much goodness left in him, while still being influenced by the society and everything happening around him. And you try to see both sides, and it's such a mind-boggling book, a book that you can read over and over again and still take shit from it, still learn new shit, still feel the same seedy, eerie, fucking gruesome, cruel, disgusting feeling that it gave you the first time you read it. It's definitely a book that I think will be a classic, a book that will hold on years and years from now. Like I said, it gives off a strong George Orwell vibe, and we know how those books do. This isn't a book that's gonna be for everyone, I can 100% tell you that, but reading the summary, you know what it's gonna be about. The cannibalism, cruelty, gruesome, vile, dehumanizing acts. But please proceed with caution. This was a lot. I rarely get triggered. That was such a lie. I get triggered all the time, but this was so much. Just like read the summary if you're not sure, but if it's gonna be triggered, read the summary and then like double that. You know what, triple that. You know what, like time that by like 1,000. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you liked the video, and I hope you're okay. I'm gonna see you next video. Bye.